Unsung Murder Ballads discusses topics of a disturbing nature.
And we're not going to hold back on the graphic details and disturbing content.
So we do not recommend our podcast for children under the age of 13.
And while we respect the victims and their families involved in these tragic cases,
we're also going to be critical of mistakes that are made during the investigations.
And we're going to use dark humor to express ourselves now and then.
So with that said, this podcast may not be for everyone.
And that's okay. We're glad you're here checking us out.
And if you've made it this far, welcome to the Unsung Murder Ballads family. And follow us on Instagram at Unsung Murder Ballads if you want to talk to us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Unsung Murder Ballads. This is episode 61. I am Janus Dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
And welcome to the first episode where we've split into 2 episodes a week, so this will be fun.
Yes, more of us, exactly what you all want.
And something very cool, tonight we're trying something different. Joyous is going to read from a script that I wrote about a case that she knows nothing about, which is like every case.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, do I ever know anything about any case?
Right, but the fun part of this is literally because you have to be the one to read the words out loud. That's going to make it so much fun. And so the listeners know, I literally just sent the file to her 2 minutes ago. So she has zero idea what's happening.
Yeah, some of this will be testing my sight reading skills, and we'll see how good I am at reading.
We'll see how much editing it forces me to do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so take it away, Joyous.
All right, so pulling up the tab.
All right.
Today we're talking about the case of Todd Kohlhepp. Not sure if he's the murderer or the murdered.
That's the fun part, isn't it?
It is. We'll all learn together. All right, you ready to go, Janus?
Let's do it.
In January of 2001, Scott Ponder, a passionate motorcycle enthusiast, opened a motorcycle and power sports dealership called Superbike Motorsports in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Scott's best friend, Brian Lucas, who shared his enthusiasm, joined Scott as the shop's service manager. Scott's mom, Beverly Guy, what a fucking name. Come on, Beverly Guy.
It's an unfortunate name, yes. It sounds so fake.
It sounds like a GTA character or something. It sounds fake. Yeah. Yes. So anyway, Beverly, my girl, she liked to spend time at the dealership, running errands for them, and she just generally enjoyed spending time with her son.
Which makes sense. I know a lot of parents who wish they could do something like that, where their son or their child had such a successful operation that they could just go down and spend time with them while they were working. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. I hope he's not the killer. This is fun. I like this.
This is funny. It's hard. It's hard for me because I know the case, so I have to. I'm going to respond the best I can. But because I already know, as I typed it up, it's interesting. It's a different dynamic. So this is fun.
Yeah, this is funny. Okay, so Chris Sherbert was the shop's most recent hire, and by November of 2003, had only been a mechanic there for a short time. So we have our cast of characters.
Yes, we have our cast of characters.
All right, let's rock. Okay, so from the start, the dealership was a success. Scott used the internet, which was innovative in the early 2000s, and the shop saw more than $1 million in sales in the first year. Damn.
That's impressive, yeah.
That's a lot of motorcycles.
Yes, it is.
Like, damn, okay, work.
But they're not motorcycles in like the sense of a Harley. These are motor sports bikes. So these are like those more sleek, faster ones that are usually made in Japan and things like that.
Oh, you like a Kawasaki. I
Yes,
see you. I see
yes.
you. Okay. Scott had a successful business, was surrounded by friends and family, and was happily married to a woman he loved, who he met at a motorcycle show. So that's cute. I love that for them.
I know, that's awesome. I have never once started dating someone I met at a place where I was doing something I loved.
Have you considered that that's the problem? Who am I to be giving date advice if we're being fucking for real right now? So his wife, Melissa, was pregnant with their first child, a child that Scott would never get to meet, unfortunately. Oh, no.
Yep. The big reveal.
Well, now we're finding out. Sad. Superbike Motorsports became somewhat of a hub for the local bike enthusiasts. So it was business as usual when a friend, Noel Lee, called the shop on Thursday, November 6th, 2003, to ask if he could drop by and hang out for a while. Seems normal.
Yes.
When Noel arrived at the dealership less than 10 minutes later, he walked into a disturbing scene. Scott and Brian were lying in a pool of blood in the dealership's parking lot near the entrance to the building. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not a good scene.
Noel initially thought the two were playing a prank on him, telling them to get up and nudging Brian with his foot before realizing the situation was not a joke. Oh, that's so fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Entering the dealership to call 911, Noel came upon two more bodies. Beverly was on the floor near the bathroom, and Chris was slumped over a bike he appeared to have been working on. Oh.
Yeah, based on that, it sounds like the killer entered behind him, and he may have been the first one dead. Because if he was still hunched over the bike he was working on, he was probably the first one shot and killed.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yeah, and the other two, since they're outside the building, were probably trying to get out.
Yeah, that makes sense. So within minutes, police were on the scene and investigators began pursuing leads. Wow, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, the South Carolina authorities in this instance did the best they could.
All right, we'll take it.
Well, you'll see.
Well, maybe it was the best they could, you know?
Well, you'll see. It's interesting.
Okay. A man and woman were seen near the dealership around the time of the murders and then shortly again afterwards. Both were known drug users with shady reputations.
Mm-hmm.
But if two addicts looking for money committed the crime, why did they leave behind the cash and not take anything? A very good point.
Mm-hmm.
So that lead ran cold as quickly as it had emerged. Detectives looked into the lives of the victims to try to find a reason someone would want to kill them.
Fair.
True. Brian, Scott, and Beverly didn't seem to have any bad blood between them and didn't have any problems with anyone else. Seems like they were chill dudes, just being into bikes with everyone else.
Again, having a job where you're doing something you love with the people you're cool with, that's awesome.
Yeah, like I love that for them. Small town rumors swirled about Chris having connections to the local drug world, but after thoroughly investigating those claims, police found nothing to it. As a normal part of protocol in such situations, police always look into the victim's spouse. Melissa, Scott's widow, was no exception. She was called into the station a handful of times in the months that followed the murders, including after her son, Scott Jr., was born. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, that's awful.
During one visit to the police station, Melissa changed her baby's diaper, which was subsequently taken by police and sent to a lab to test DNA, unbeknownst to Melissa. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
You know, that's actually low-key smart of them. I wouldn't have thought of that.
It is really smart of them, yes.
I hate to say that about a cop, but I'll give credit where credit's due.
Oh, just wait.
Oh, man. Okay. DNA samples had been taken from the 4 victims at the crime scene. I sure hope they were. Yeah.
One would hope, yes.
In the year 2003? Yeah, I would hope. Upon running the sample from the diaper against that of the samples collected at Superbike Motorsports, police determined that Brian was the baby's father, not Scott. Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. This is funny. I'm enjoying this.
This is funny. This new twist piqued their interest as it opened the door for possible motive. I guess. Okay, work, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Although, if she's involved, why kill both of them?
Right. Weird thing to do. They confronted Melissa with this information, and she flatly denied the possibility that anyone other than Scott could be the father. She requested the test be done a second time, and the second test returned the same findings. Interesting. Melissa was confronted about the second test results, and at that point, she opted to stop speaking to police without a lawyer, a choice that further raised the detective's suspicions. Although, I think this was the right move on her part. You should never talk to police without a lawyer.
I think you should always, even at the very beginning, you should always have a lawyer present.
Yes, always. You know what this sounds like to me is maybe she genuinely didn't know. Like, maybe she was assaulted unconsciously. Like, maybe something happened. Like,
that's an interesting...
I guess, I feel like she wouldn't have demanded a retest if she knew it was going to be the same result.
Agreed, and I definitely agree with you. But your theory is very interesting, though. I like that.
All right, so roughly 18 months passed, and the cloud of suspicion surrounding Melissa remained. Friends and family of the victims weren't sure what to think. At some point, Beverly's DNA was run against her son's, and that wasn't a match. Hey, what?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So after examining what had happened, police realized Scott's and Brian's DNA samples had been mixed up as they were found next to each other at the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these stupid motherfuckers. I see what you mean.
Yes.
Dumbass.
Oh,
So Scott was indeed the father of Melissa's son, and Melissa had done nothing wrong.
Right. Yep. Can you imagine?
Okay, well,
just
that must have
imagine.
been traumatic for her.
That would have been
That sucks.
so fucked up. You lose your husband/boyfriend. I'm not sure if they were married or not. And you have to raise your son without him, and you're being accused of his murder, and then you're told that the DNA doesn't match. It's so fucked up.
That's so fucked up.
I mean, we don't go into it because I didn't dig too deep into the life of Melissa after the fact, but I hope she did a lawsuit against them.
Yeah. So sadly, Scott's grandmother would never learn of the mix-up and would go to her grave unsure of her great-grandson's true identity.
Yeah,
that's really sad. Police interviewed the last person to see the 4 victims alive, a customer who was in the shop minutes before the shooting. Okay, that sounds like the right thing to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The witness told the sheriff's department that he saw a man in the dealership. He recalled how the unknown man in the shop had inquired about a motorcycle and spoke as if he had little knowledge about bikes, so much so that the customer found the guy's behavior noticeably off-putting. Interesting.
And again, that makes sense. Like, that would be like me hanging out in a guitar shop, asking questions about guitars, and not knowing anything about guitars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you might remember that as like, what's this stupid motherfucker doing in here?
Exactly. That's going to stand out.
So anyway, that man could not be identified or located, so it began to look like the Superbike murders might never be solved. Then, 13 years later, it would take a bizarre series of events involving 4 missing persons that would finally lead to someone's arrest. Oh, that's wild and wacky.
Mm-hmm.
After some lengthy interrogations, the accused revealed he was a serial killer and confessed to previous crimes. Oh, it's the person accused of killing 4 missing persons.
Correct.
Well, would you look at that?
Mm-hmm.
One of those crimes that he confessed to had taken place at a motorcycle dealership.
Yep.
This is the case of Todd Kohlhepp, also known as the Amazon Review Killer.
Yep. Just wait. Yes.
All right, listeners. If you actually have heard of this before, that's the funniest thing I've ever read. I've never heard of this before. That's so funny.
Oh, and the best part. Well, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but when you get to that part, it is great. It is so much fun.
I can't wait to find out why he's the Amazon Review Killer. Personally,
I think it's interesting the way that you know nothing about it and you're reading it and your reactions. This is everything I hoped this would be. This is great.
Perfect. It's good. This is funny.
I just feel bad that
Right.
I'm more quiet than normal, but I'm letting you be the one to like absorb it. So
Yeah, it's news to me.
all right, go ahead.
Oh man. All right, here's Todd's story, I think. So Todd Kohlhepp was born on March 7th, 1971 in Florida and was raised in South Carolina and Georgia. His parents divorced when he was 2 years old. Damn, sucks.
Yeah, but we see that a lot. Yep.
It's true. It happens. His mother gained custody and married another man the following year. Well done, girlie. Later psychological reports found that Kohlhepp had an unhealthy relationship with his stepfather and often wanted to live with his biological father, whom he had not seen in 8 years. Oh no. Okay. Well, never mind. I take back what I said.
Yeah. But it may
Shouldn't
not
speak
be
too soon in a case like this.
But it may not be that the stepfather was abusive. He just may not have gotten along with a kid who didn't like that he was a stepfather.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because it doesn't say that it was abusive. It says it was unhealthy.
Right. So Kohlhepp was described as a troublesome child. In nursery school, he was known to be aggressive toward other children and would destroy their property.
The asshole kid
Little
who
fuck.
breaks your toys. Yeah.
Yep. At the age of 9, when he started undergoing counseling, Kohlhepp was described as being explosive and preoccupied with sexual content. At 9?
Yeah, that's intense. 9.
That tells me something's going wrong at home. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's probably a stronger indicator of what that unhealthy relationship really was.
Yeah, that's for a 9-year-old to. No, that's really concerning.
No, I agree with you. That's not okay.
He also displayed cruelty to animals, as he had shot a dog with a BB gun and killed a goldfish using Clorox bleach.
Yeah. It's not funny, but your reaction is funny. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, oh fuck. Like,
like,
okay, yeah. Something seriously wrong here.
You're
We're
like,
seeing it.
What is this horror falling from my lips right now? That's what you sound like.
Literally. Kohlhepp's father later said the only emotion his son was capable of was anger and madness.
That's a great phrase.
That's frightening.
That sounds like the title of a really good metal song.
What, the whole thing? The only emotion my son is capable of is anger and madness?
Yeah, why not, right?
Panic at the Disco song.
There you go.
Okay. I feel bad that I'm laughing at this, but I'm just kind of dumbfounded by the words that I'm saying.
No, that's what makes this so interesting. We're going to have to put an extra disclaimer at the beginning or something. Well,
yeah,
no.
I'm really sorry I'm laughing. It's shock laugh.
Yes, it's discomfort, because normally you react in horror, but now you have to be the one to like give it, but you don't know what you're going to say next, and that's what makes it so unnerving. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Kohlhepp spent 3.5 months in a Georgia psychiatric hospital as an inpatient because of his inability to get along with other children. This has to be some pretty severe not getting along with other children if he's in a inpatient in a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, before he's 12. Yeah, that's intense.
Right? They didn't even do that to you.
No, they didn't. No. And he's only a couple years older than I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this is when you were a kid, yeah. Eventually, in 1983, so he's 12, Kohlhepp was sent to live with his biological father in Arizona after his mother and stepfather separated. He took his father's surname, oh, interesting that he didn't have it to start with, and began working a number of local jobs. He also inherited his father's hobby of collecting weapons and was taught by him to blow things up and make bombs. Oh, great.
Yeah, great father-son activities, yes.
Bonding. Fantastic. Despite this, their relationship deteriorated due to his father's absence with a number of girlfriends, and Kohlhepp repeatedly expressed a desire to return to his mother, though she reportedly made excuses to extend her son's continued stay with his father. Oh, so he's just being fucking abandoned.
Well, not just that, but I mean, he sounds like this kind of kid who thinks that the grass is always greener somewhere else. He wants to go live with dad. He gets there. He's not happy. Now he wants to go back to mom. But I agree that neither of his parents really want him there either. So the whole situation is just fucked.
Yeah, he's definitely a nightmare of a child, but yeah, it's just fucked.
Yeah, everything that's going to start happening going forward could have been avoided if his parents had maybe shown him a little bit more attention.
Sucks. At one point in Tempe, Arizona, 15-year-old Kohlhepp asked a girl out, 14-year-old Christy Granado, and she shot him down. I don't think he's going to take that very well. So on November 25th, 1986, Kohlhepp kidnapped Christy. Fucking shit.
Yep.
She was babysitting her younger siblings when Kohlhepp walked in with a .22 caliber revolver and threatened to kill her and her siblings if she did not come with him and do as he said.
Yeah.
The fuck?
There's a kid with great coping skills right there.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, what is she going to do? She doesn't have too many options. Yeah.
No, and she's also 14. Fucking hell. He then brought her back to his home, tied her up, taped her mouth shut, and raped her. Oh,
yeah.
That's fucking awful.
Complete piece of shit.
Afterwards, he walked her home and threatened to kill her entire family if she told anyone about what had happened. Oh.
Yeah. I just imagine what that must feel like to a 14-year-old girl After everything she's already been through, now she can't say shit, fearing for her entire family.
Because this,
Yeah.
makes me sick to my stomach. That's fucking awful.
But wait until you get to the next line.
All right. However, when they arrived back at Christie's home, her brother had already called the police. Go off, bro. Because he couldn't find his sister and they were waiting at her home. There we fucking go.
Yep.
Kohlhepp was charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, and committing a dangerous crime against children. Yep.
Go Arizona.
Yep. But in 1987, he pleaded guilty to the kidnapping charge and the other charges were dropped. What?
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit right there.
I guess it's because he's a minor. Maybe they're handling it differently.
Maybe, but again, it always goes back to in decades past, they just didn't take sexual assault serious enough. They still don't.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They still don't. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Okay, that's a lot for a 15-year-old, so I can see that. And registered as a sex offender. Okay, that's good. So even though he wasn't charged with sexual assault, he was still a sex offender.
Correct.
Okay. That's what I want to see. That's my main concern. If they're not charging him with sexual assault, is that he might not have that on his record.
No, and I agree with you on that one. And yes, the consequences are always the most important thing.
Absolutely. According to court records, Kohlhepp was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and was noted as having an above-average IQ of 118, which worldwide the average score is 100, and in the U.S. it's 98.
Right.
Not too bad. Just a little lower.
I was going to say, it's not that much lower. When I was doing research on that, I was like, God, please don't be too much lower.
Yes. The judge in the case said Kohlhepp was very bright and should be advanced academically, but behaviorally, emotionally dangerous, and likely could not be rehabilitated.
Which is...
Oh, so we're...
Yeah. This is
already deciding that.
Yeah, but to be fair, this guy has an insight that predicted everything else.
Yikes. And just shame when like you don't think someone's going to be rehabilitated, but you're still going to send them to prison and then let them be released later. Like,
well, the judge only...
I guess your hands are tied a little bit.
I was going to say the judge only has so much control over that because if he gets released early on good behavior, the judge had nothing to do with that.
That's true. Kohlhepp's probation officer wrote a similar description in court papers and added that Kohlhepp felt the world owed him something. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, the United States is full of entitled people.
He sounds like an OG incel, if you ask me.
Sort of, I can see that. Although, I'm going to hold on to that thought as you go because I never looked at it from that point of view. So it'll be interesting to look at this through a different set of lenses.
All right, well, let's rock. Kohlhepp's attorney in that case later went on to say that while defending him, he did not believe his client would go on to harm others in the future. Well, you're stupid.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, you think prison's going to rehabilitate someone? Girl, you work in the legal system. You should know better.
He should, but obviously he's idealistic.
During his imprisonment, Kohlhepp was initially cited for violations that include various violent behaviors. After turning 20, however, he had no other records of disobedience. Interesting. I guess maybe he found the path of least resistance.
Most likely, yeah. That makes sense.
Sometimes rebelling is actually not in your best interests, buddy.
No, especially to get what you want if you have to comply and you have really no other options in a place like prison. You're going to comply.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess in that way it changes you.
But once you're out, your behaviors go back pretty quickly.
In August 2001, Kohlhepp was released from prison after serving 14 years and moved to South Carolina where his mother was living. We love to see someone actually serving their sentence. 1 year less, but actually serving the sentence.
Yeah, I mean, good, because he deserved it.
100%. During his imprisonment, he attended and graduated from Central Arizona College with a bachelor's degree in computer science. Applying himself, I guess that's good.
At least for the first couple years, he does a little better, yeah.
Right, and typically, like, you get yourself in a good path, you're going to improve as a person.
One would hope.
One would hope, but I have a feeling my hope is unfounded.
Yeah, we wouldn't be talking about it here today if that was the case.
If that was the end of the story and he just did one sexual assault and went to prison for it, that wouldn't be what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that wouldn't fall under murder ballad.
No, you're right. It wouldn't.
And don't forget how we opened this story.
Right. Remembering. From January 2002 to November 2003, he worked as a graphic designer for a company in Spartanburg. Note, this is around the time of the motorbike murders. Retro.
Mm-hmm.
He began studying at the Greenville Technical College in 2003. He transferred to USC upstate the following year and graduated in 2008 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and Marketing. Okay, he's got a double bachelor's.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself on the outside, yes. From the outside looking in.
Yeah. And despite being registered as a sex offender, he was able to get a real estate license on June 30th, 2006, after lying about the felony charge on his application. Oh, well, that makes sense. You lie about it, then, yeah, it doesn't get in the way.
Well, it's interesting. I know in Massachusetts, when you apply for a job, it'll ask you if you've ever been convicted of a felony, but you do not have to answer that question here in Massachusetts. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yes, I don't know how it is in South Carolina.
Interesting. They're just waiting for you to voluntarily, share that information.
It's sort of like a trap. Exactly. You do not have to answer that question. So all you massholes out there, you do not have to answer that question.
All right. From this, he built a firm that had 12 agents in its employ. He had been recognized as a top-selling agent in the Carolina region.
So he's still doing well.
Yeah, he's still doing pretty good for himself. And, you would really think, it's true, you would really think from the outside, oh, wow, if I were a probation officer, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not that worried about this guy.
Exactly.
Makes sense. However, the firm was closed down following his arrest. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
In May 2014, he purchased nearly 100 acres of land located in an area 9 miles from the community of Moore, South Carolina, for roughly $300,000. Doesn't look weird. He's a real estate agent.
I was going to say, and considering the size of that land for $300K, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that bad. He then set a fence around the property, which cost $80,000.
That's one hell of a fucking fence.
That's a lot. That's a interesting thing to do for your empty lot.
Yep.
A customer who sold her home to Kohlhepp remembered him as extremely outgoing and professional, but noted that he would often talk about his firearms and sometimes subtly used sexual innuendos during their conversations.
Yeah, I hate people like that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just sounds like a guy to me.
Yeah, I guess, but not in a professional environment. But
no, not a professional. Definitely a weird fucking guy that I don't like. But
gotcha.
I still I guess what I'm thinking is from the perspective of would I expect this man to do something truly fucking horrible? Probably not.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that.
Conversely, a woman who assisted one of Kohlhepp's employees described him as angry and condescending towards her partner.
Okay, so he treats men like shit. Yeah, he treats men like shit and flirts with their girlfriends.
Yep. A banker who worked with Kohlhepp said he often watched pornographic videos even while at work. Okay, don't do that.
Yeah,
please.
Not a good idea, people. Even if
not a good look. But I guess if you're the boss, what are they gonna do?
Exactly. Even if you own the company, don't do it.
Please don't do that. It's not a good idea. Kohlhepp frequented a Waffle House restaurant in Roebuck, where his behavior disturbed the waitresses to the point where the male cook began to take Kohlhepp's orders for them.
Which is creepy as fuck.
Very creepy. How bad is this? Waitresses deal with bullshit all day, and he's so bad that they need someone else to come do it. That's crazy.
Yeah, that just says right there how bad it is. Yeah.
Right, and this is he's a regular. This really sucks for them.
Yeah, because there's not much they can do.
Yeah, exactly. So according to one employee, one of the waitresses was a woman named Megan Lee McCraw Coxey. Megan and her husband, Johnny, had a history of panhandling, and they had both been wanted on warrants for various offenses. The couple had a child together. Okay. Mm-hmm. Official records show they had prior convictions for drug and alcohol offenses dating back to 2009. Johnny had been arrested on December 10th and charged with unauthorized solicitation and giving false information to police. What is unauthorized solicitation?
So basically solicitation or unauthorized solicitation is just you panhandling. You're asking people for something or trying to sell them something. And then when police stopped them, he didn't give them his real name or something, and he's arrested for these 2 stupid charges.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. I mean, like, maybe this was a bad guy, but like, why is
Wasting.
it illegal to beg?
Yeah,
The
well,
fuck?
yeah, that I don't understand. Other than it's there to make your town look cleaner. So the idea is they're driving out the homeless element because they can't panhandle and ask for help there.
Right, which sucks.
It very much does, yes.
That sucks shit. That shouldn't be. It's not a crime to be poor, but sometimes this country treats it like it should be.
Exactly.
Sucks shit. Megan had been arrested on December 18th, so a week later, and charged with child neglect, according to court records. That is more serious. Child neglect? Why are we putting someone in jail?
Exactly. And where
Tell me what's going to neglect a child more.
Well, they're going to argue that they're going to put the children under the control of the state and therefore they're not being neglected. But we all know what the foster care system looks like.
Exactly. Like, they probably will be neglected regardless, just by a different person who
cares even less. Exactly.
Yeah, who doesn't personally care. Megan had asked her mother to bond her out of jail because she told her mother she had a job lined up. Her mother said she paid her daughter's bond so that Megan could be released from jail and start the new job. Then Megan's mother reported her missing on December 22nd, 2015, shortly after she and her husband were released from jail after not having heard from them for a couple of days.
Which makes sense. And maybe the children were under Megan's mother's care too. That might have been a thing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, neither Megan nor Johnny told anyone that the job offer was from Todd Kohlhepp to do work on his property.
Yeah. Very similar to the John Wayne Gacy thing, where he's offering people jobs, but they're not really giving anyone specifics as to where they're going, and then they disappear.
Right, they're just like, some guy gave me a job, bye.
Exactly.
On August 31st, 2016, okay, so we're talking about like almost a year later, Kayla Brown, 30, and her boyfriend Charles David Carver, 32, went missing after they went to remove brush from one of Kohlhepp's properties. Interest in the disappearance of Kayla and Charles increased as a result of posts on Carver's Facebook account following their disappearance. Okay, the fuck? The unusual nature of which prompted speculation that another party had taken control of his Facebook account. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Like, my thought is if you're a criminal, a killer, a kidnapper, or whatever, and you're stupid enough to go on to someone's social media to try to make it look like they're still alive and active or something, you're an idiot.
Oh, you're dumb as literal shit. Like,
Yeah.
You are so stupid.
Because if you go back and look at Gabby Petito,
Yep.
right, her idiot boyfriend who killed her went and posted a photo of her hands holding this tiny little pumpkin, and he wrote Happy Halloween, but it was like fucking August, and everyone that followed her was like, wait, something's wrong.
Yeah. Fuck?
Yeah, you're an idiot if you do anything like that. I understand what the
Yeah.
thought process is, but you're an idiot.
But it's not a good thought process.
No, not at all.
It's a thought process. Sure, you had a thought.
Yeah, you had a
and you
thought.
processed it.
Not fully, but yeah.
Not fully, no. Investigators used the last known pings from Kayla and Charles's cell phones to track their movements that lead them to Kohlhepp's property on November 3rd. Okay, so that's like August, September, October, November.
Yeah, that's
no, it's on November 3rd that they found that they used the pings to find them.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Oh, no. The next line. Oh, no. Authorities found Kayla chained to the wall inside the metal storage container. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
A search of Kohlhepp's property recovered Charles' vehicle, which was found in a ravine covered in brush. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
According to Kayla, she witnessed Charles being shot by Kohlhepp. Okay, so she's still alive. Oh, months? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, months of being held inside a metal storage container.
Fuck. Charles was later found dead of multiple gunshots on the property. Oh, Kohlhepp's mother claimed Charles was killed for having a really smart mouth, which Kohlhepp did not like. Fuck.
Can I just say, I understand a mother's nature to protect your child, but what kind of fucking animal are you to say something like that about someone your son murdered.
Horrific. Genuinely horrific.
Yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah, she also said he kept Kayla captive because she did not do anything wrong and that he did not want to hurt her. The fuck?
But he still kept her captive. Yeah.
Didn't want to hurt her. You're literally fucking murdering her mind. What the fuck?
Yeah. So fucked up.
Kayla stated to police just after her rescue that Kohlhepp had killed Carver because Kohlhepp was mad at her.
Yeah, mad at her, so he kills him. Which my guess is...
this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, my guess is that her saying even that statement is probably all that time of her basically being worked on by him to kind of...
100%.
Yeah, gaslight her a little bit to make it think that she was at fault.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's ass. During her captivity, Kayla was raped repeatedly and intimidated into not escaping after having been shown the graves of Kohlhepp's other victims. Oh, fuck.
Fucking terrifying.
Fucking awful. 2 other bodies were discovered on Kohlhepp's property following his arrest. They were later identified as Johnny and Megan Coxey.
Yep.
Ugh.
Which sucks because you would have thought with the people that worked with Megan at that restaurant, at that Waffle House, knowing that she was so put off by him that she had to have other people serve him his food, that he would have at least been on a list somewhere when she went missing.
Yeah, I don't know what went on there, but it was certainly a miss.
My guess would be, well, they're just drug users anyway. They're probably just running around somewhere.
100%, yeah. Investigators found Megan and Johnny's bodies after digging fairly deep into the hard-packed earth in a wooded area near the shipping container where they found Kayla. Ugh. Megan had been killed by a gunshot wound to the head on December 25th or 26th. Oh, fuck. It's on Christmas?
Yeah.
While Johnny had been killed a week before by a gunshot wound to the torso. Okay, yeah. And based on what he had done to Kayla, it's pretty obvious that Megan suffered the same fate.
Right, but hers would only last a week.
Right, where it was a long time for Kayla. Oh,
yeah, Kayla clearly cooperated more, I would argue.
Yeah. Ugh. Poor thing.
Well, I mean, at least she survived.
This is true. According to the county coroner, the bodies were identified through their extensive tattoos. Makes sense?
Yeah, I was going to say that's, I guess, I mean, if you could have done the dental records, but if you didn't need to, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's pretty identifiable. Kohlhepp was arrested shortly after Kayla's rescue. I sure fucking hope he was. Yeah. He later confessed to the Superbike shootings and the murders of the Coxies in exchange for allowing him to talk to his mother, give her a photograph, and transfer money to the college fund of a friend's child.
How fucking weird is that?
That's weird. Yeah. Like, why was that? What?
Yeah, and the weird part to me is usually when you're arrested in some kind of crime like that, you lose control of your property. So the fact that they let him send money somewhere would make me want to investigate where the money came from, maybe.
Right.
Still weird. But,
very, very weird move.
But it's probably a small town, you know. I mean, the South is known for being a bit more friendly than the North. So it's
right.
Probably...
It also could be like maybe his mother's in control of his estate. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why he had her do this. So while meeting with his mother, he reportedly confessed to the killings and kidnapping.
And
He's just confessing.
Right. And it makes sense where his mother would later say, well, he had a smart mouth on him. She's literally repeating what he told her, but it's still fucked up.
Yeah, incredibly fucked up. A search of Kohlhepp's property also uncovered numerous weapons, including 9mm pistols outfitted with suppressors. Is that the same thing as a silencer?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So also semi-automatic rifles and an undetermined amount of ammunition. The fuck?
That's a lot of ammunition.
How is it not determined if you found it?
Because they didn't bother to count it, be my guess.
Fair enough. Because there was no record of a background check under Kohlhepp's name for the purchase of firearm, bitch the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Just keep going.
Oh, okay. Investigators believed at the time that he most likely acquired the weapons illegally.
Yeah. So keep in mind, there is going to be a little side note about how we got these weapons a little later on.
Okay. Shortly following Kohlhepp's arrest, authorities on the Spartanburg County discovered that Kohlhepp had written joke product reviews on Amazon. What?
This is the Amazon review killer part.
Where the fuck is this going? Okay. One review about a padlock stated, solid locks, ... have 5 on a shipping container, ... won't stop them, ... but will sure slow them down till they are too old to care. Hey, buddy!
He's so fucked up.
Oh, dude, what's wrong with you?
Oh, keep going.
Another review for an entrenching tool, which is a small folding shovel, read, keep in car for when you God, for when you have to hide bodies and left the full-size shovel at home.
Yeah.
Dude!
He's literally confessing on Amazon.
Dude! Oh my God. Ugh.
There were more, by the way. I only included those 2 because they were the best 2. But he's got a whole, it's like 7 or 8 of them, maybe 10.
Right, I mean, in order to be the Amazon review killer, you really have to build that reputation.
Yes, it is so fucked up, though.
Following his arrest, Kohlhepp claimed to his mother that there were many other victims aside from the aforementioned. Okay, SAT word. When his mother asked how many, his response was, you do not have enough fingers.
Yeah. Loser, yeah.
Oh, what a monster. During interrogation, he claimed to have shot a victim in Arizona.
Which would have put him back when he was a teen because he spent most of that time in prison.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Yikes. On November 18th, 2016, it was reported that the Tempe Police Department had begun an investigation into Kohlhepp's claim, searching through unsolved homicides in the past 3 decades.
Which is good, but it also makes me think of Israel Keys, where because of the way he traveled, everyone's looking into cold cases that could potentially be him.
Right, exactly. They said they would focus on cases dated from 1983 to 1986, when Kohlhepp was living with his father, and also between August 2001, when Kohlhepp completed his sentence for kidnapping, and November 2001, when he moved back to South Carolina.
Okay, so I didn't, even though I typed that up, I didn't even click that he was there a few months as an adult, so he could have killed someone else over there.
Yeah, very true. On November 25th, 2016, police in Greer, South Carolina, announced that they had named Kohlhepp as a person of interest in an unsolved 2003 bank robbery and triple homicide at the local Blue Ridge Savings Bank. This crime was separated from the Chesney shootings by 6 months. Chesney?
Chesney is where the motorbike murders happened.
Got you. Okay. However, as of May 16th, 2018, no definitive link between Kohlhepp and the killings was established, and Kohlhepp has denied any involvement in the case. On May 26, 2017, Kohlhepp pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of criminal sexual assault. That's it. And was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole in a plea bargain that spared him from capital punishment. Kohlhepp is currently imprisoned in the Lieber Correctional Institution. And as a side note, you might still be wondering how Kohlhepp acquired all the firearms that were found on his property. That was all thanks to a douchebag named Dustin Lawson.
Yes, douchebag and a half right here.
Douchebag and a half. All right, well, let's fucking get into it, yeah. Lawson bought firearms and silencers for Kohlhepp, knowing he was a convicted felon. Fucker.
Mm-hmm.
Lawson purchased the guns, claiming they were for himself. The company that sold him the weapons, Academy Sports, as a federally licensed gun dealer, knew or should have known that Lawson was purchasing the gun for Kohlhepp. Kohlhepp was with Lawson in the stores picking out the guns. Oh, you motherfucker.
Exactly. It'd be like me walking into a fucking liquor store with a teenager, letting the teenager pick out the fucking bottles and then me buy them.
Literally.
Yeah.
There's so much more responsibility to this, like, that should have been.
Yes, absolutely.
Lawson bought at least 9 guns for Kohlhepp from Academy between November 2012 to July 2016. The fourth of those firearms, a Glock 40, was the gun used to kill Johnny Coxey.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to 36 federal firearm charges and was sentenced to 8 years and 3 months in prison. We're talking about Lawson.
Correct.
That's,
Yeah, Lawson, maybe, 8 years, maybe that's not a lot. I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, considering that he gave guns to a felon who then used them to commit murders, like, there should be, like, a manslaughter charge.
You would think so, but he didn't know the guy was going to kill anybody. But
isn't that the point of manslaughter?
that's true, too. Yeah, and I don't know. But it is the South where they have looser gun laws.
That's fair. That's true. Not that it's fair, but it is true.
Yeah, that's a good statement, yeah.
Yeah. Lawson is serving his sentence and is scheduled for release on November 12th, 2024. Motherfuck, this year?
This November.
That sucks.
Yeah.
The estates of the 3 victims found on Kohlhepp's property, Johnny Joe Coxey, his wife Megan Coxey, and Charles Carver, were awarded $2.5 million, split 3 ways. Well, they're dead, so...
Well, but their estates are getting it. Their children are
they're
getting it.
meaning their families. Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. The lawsuits were consolidated into one case. Johnny Coxey's 2 children, one of which is shared with Megan Coxey, will receive just under $120,000 from his estate. And the remaining $240,000 from his estate will go to Megan Coxey's estate. She is survived by an additional child from the one she shared with Johnny Coxey. So her estate will also receive 1/3 of the $2.5 million settlement. Carver is survived by his wife and has no children, and his estate will receive just over $425,000. And then Kayla Brown was awarded $6.3 million in August 2018. Interesting. Whose money, though? Whose money is that?
They're suing the state.
Oh, they're suing the state for mishandling.
Right. That's all a
Got
lawsuit. Yeah. Fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the case of Todd Kohlhepp. Motherfucking fucker.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I was sitting there doing the research on that, and I was like, man, this is going to be so much fun. And then when we came up with the idea of you reading one with no prep, I was like, this is the case.
Yeah. The fucking Amazon review killer. The fuck?
Yeah.
That was a unique one. That was certainly unique.
Yeah, so the one for the entrenching tool, because it's like a mini shovel, he continued on saying stupid shit like, this, mini shovel doesn't come with a midget, although that would help. Like, stupid shit like that.
Oh, fucking ew.
Yeah, stupid shit like that. I mean, any of the listeners, if you guys feel like looking them up, you can find them. Some of them are funny, some of them aren't, but this guy was out of his fucking head, confessing publicly. Yeah. So funny, though.
Damn, what a case.
Yeah, good times.
Fuck. Well, I mean, it was definitely interesting to read it off and be shocked as I'm saying it. That was pretty, I mean, awful as always, but that was a interesting way to do it.
Yeah, I liked it. We'll have to do that every so often. I don't want to put you through too much, and I don't want the random listener we occasionally get to think that we're doing this to mock anybody. That's not what we're doing.
Because I know I was laughing, so disclaimer to everyone. This was my shock response because I was saying things that were truly so preposterous I could not process.
Yeah, and it's hard when you like your response were like, "Oh my god, the next line." Like you can tell that you didn't know what was next. And that's
Yeah, I did. I truly was like, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ," every time.
Yeah, or like when you're like, "Oh, we can see where this is going."
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a good time. I like I said, we won't do it too often, but I think it'd be fun every now and again to, throw everybody a curveball.
Yeah, for real. That was good.
All right, excellent. So thank you everyone for joining us. I'll see you again on Saturday. Jameson and I will be doing a separate episode. We broke into 2 teams to give you 2 episodes a week. We'll see how this goes. Give us your feedback. Let us know how you think it's going and anything you think we can do to improve upon that. And don't forget to send us your listener suggestions. I do have one coming up shortly, so that'll be fun too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So once again, thank you everyone. I am Janus Dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.